Hello from the venue of the 13th World Urban Forum here in Baku. We're continuing with our special coverage, and now let's turn to some experts. Here with me is Ibrahimmi Cisse of the Humanitarian OpenStreetMap Team, who's going to talk to us about how data-driven planning can help mitigate some of the impacts of the housing crisis globally. Ibrahim, welcome. And for our viewers, could you tell us what exactly is it that the team does?
Thank you for welcoming me and for hosting us in a very nice country. And we appreciate a lot. And yes, I'm Dr. Ibrahimmi Cisse, the Regional Director of Humanitarian OpenStreetMap Team for West and North Africa. I have another colleague that is covering your region, your country, that I'll be happy to connect with. So now, responding to your question, actually, you cannot take a decision or make planning without having data. Without data, or you do nothing or you do the wrong thing. You need data to take decision. So for housing, for planification, for climate change, for drought, even for drainage, for pharmacy, for whatever, you need to have data, you need to have map. And what we provide this data, and the data that we provide are open. Open source data mean that you don't have to pay licenses. You need just to learn how to collect the data, how to upload it on OpenStreetMap Team, and how to contribute to the data collection to join the global team of data collector. And when you join this team, it means that you contribute to support any crisis that happen around the world, you are able to support. When there is earthquake in Syria, the last one, we provide the data, and that was used by Médecins Sans Frontières, IRC, Red Cross, etc. Because if you go to HDX, actually, the platform where that hosting a lot of data, you have more 600,000 downloads of open data from OpenStreetMap. So this is huge in terms of opportunity and in terms also of having the own data for the country and for the community. So this means that Azerbaijan need data for a specific problematic. Azerbaijan can train the youth, can train the volunteer, can train the university student, and they can collect the data, host the data, upload the data, and actualize the data for their own benefit. They become independent, and this is really interesting in terms of sustainability in long term, because once this is established, it means anytime that the government, the institution, the NGO, any problematic they have, they can just go use this data or talk to the community and try start uploading and collecting the data. And we have a lot of interesting tools that are also free, like field tasking manager, drone tasking manager, and we are deploying out in everywhere. I'm covering 24 countries. I have a colleague covering Asia Pacific with 24 countries, another in Latin America covering 24 countries, and another in South and East Africa covering 24 countries. And we have a global team that sit, and a tech team that work and provide all this technology. Just to say that for me, it's a huge opportunity what Humanitarian OpenStreetMap Team is offering. And I think I was following one conference this morning about the issue of having data. And I think HOT is really giving an opportunity, and I'll be happy to connect and to help build the community here with the support of my colleague and our tech team. So Azerbaijan can have his data collector, volunteering, contributing to create job, to the development, to manage the city, to do the planning, etc.
You've mentioned one of the examples with the earthquake. Do you believe that open source data is not only the future but also the present of how we as the global community can tackle crises, not only housing but climate crisis and so on?
Yeah, definitely. HOT is recognized. When I say HOT is Humanitarian OpenStreetMap Team, HOT is recognized as one of the main contributors during disaster. When disaster happen, we set up a team and we start the project, we start collecting data. And when we do that, all the community around the world participate to the data collection. People sitting in US, in everywhere around the world can contribute on data collection and help people. Because when there is a crisis, you don't know where people sit. You don't know where the edifices are. You don't know the water pipe. You don't know the drainage system. If you don't have map, if you don't have data, where do you find people? So you need map. You need to know that this place, you have a building that do not exist anymore, but there's people inside the building. So you need to save these people. So for that, you need to have a clear map. So, and it's what we are offering. And with high quality data, when I say high quality data, actually, all the institutions are using OpenStreetMap because the process of data collection, uploading data, validation of the data cleaning, all this process is already, known expertise for a lot of years by HOT and the global community of mappers.
Having in mind the importance of mapping, especially in the cases of disasters, have you managed to find some colleagues or someone who would join your of course, it's open source, anyone can join. But have you found any colleagues or officials who have maybe expressed their desire to provide some institutional support here at the World Urban Forum?
Not in Azerbaijan. It's my first time here, so we are making some contact. But with other countries, we are working. We work with World Bank. We work with the government of Niger. In Africa, we work with a lot of government. In Asia Pacific, it's the same. In Latin America, Brazil. So we work in a lot of countries with government, institutions, NGOs, civil society, and planners. Urban planners need us because what we provide, it's saving a lot of money. It's saving time, and it's sustainable, and it's open. Because that's why people are rushing to OpenStreetMap, institution. Here, I hope that, I sincerely hope that it can be the beginning for Azerbaijan to start using it. I have made some contact, and I will support if really people show interest. We can continue to work and support to create a community here in Azerbaijan that can work for it, because it's really a lot of benefit for the country.
And of course, I imagine it is constantly expanding the network of your contributors and the maps you have, but can you tell us a bit of what do you plan for the future? What do you plan for the long term?
When you talk about Mapper, our last project, when you go to our website, you'll see we are near to 1 million mappers, 1 million contributor to maps. We have mapped near to 1 billion, an area where you have 1 billion people living. It's huge. And this was with a project Audacious, of course, with a lot of contributors around the world. Now what we are trying to do, now we think that, of course, we have partnering with institutions, getting some funding from philanthropy, supporting our work. But we think that in the future, actually, knowing the context, is how we can create a win-win work where the country, the organization can profit to the work, but can contribute also to build something. So the future for us is how we create sustainable development, sustainable business, and opportunity for countries. Because when a student that end his study on data have opportunity to have open access to data, he's able to create his own application. He's open to create his startup. He has opportunity to do something because he has a raw material for him to use. And this is what OpenStreetMap is offering. So yeah, we think that there's a lot to come, and we hope that Azerbaijan will be in the trend for the future.
And in that vein, Ibrahim, you mentioned all the numbers, the maps, the contributors, and so on. Do you believe that people are becoming more aware of the crisis at hand here?
Being aware we have to. We don't have the choice just because it's happening to us. I used to say that there's no discrimination in climate change effect. Climate change impact doesn't make any difference between who is the contributor, who is not contributor, who is affected by the earthquake, etc. Who is affected by a cyclone or by a flooding. We don't know. It can happen to anywhere, anytime. So what we need to do, we need to prepare. And being prepared is being resilient, and being prepared is having the right information. And this means having the data, because without data, you don't have information. You have just hypotheses, but you are not sure. But when you have data, you know what's happening, where it's happening, you know the level of exposure, of community, of people, of house, and then you can mitigate it taking the preventive measure.
Very interesting, Ibrahim. Thank you so much for speaking to me.
Thank you for this opportunity. And once again, you have a very nice country. I have a chance to study in Russia before, so I speak some Russian, and I had some friends from Azerbaijan. They went back, but I have lost them in the way of of the time. But yeah, happy to be here, and yeah, I hope that something will be done very soon. Thank you again.
Thank you.
Thank you for hosting us.